As we turn now to Donald Trump's civil fraud trial here in New York, Trump's attorneys are expected to file a motion today to stay the trial pending an appeal of a judge's ruling last week that Trump and his two eldest sons, Eric and Donald Jr., had committed fraud by vastly overstating the assets of their company. The pretrial ruling puts the future of the Trump Organization's real estate empire in jeopardy. Trump voluntarily attended the first 3 days of the trial. During comments to the press, he repeatedly attacked New York's Attorney General Letitia James for bringing the fraud case against him. On Monday, Trump assailed James, who is African-American, as a racist and called the trial judge, Arthur Engoron, a disgrace. On Wednesday, James denounced Trump's comments.
What they were comments that unfortunately fomented violence, comments that I would describe as race baiting, and comments, unfortunately, that appeals to the bottom of our humanity. I will not be bullied. And so Mr. Trump is no longer here. The Donald Trump show is over. This was nothing more than a political stunt, a fundraising stop.
On Tuesday, Judge Engoron placed a gag order on Donald Trump, the first on a former president, after he falsely claimed on social media that the judge's law clerk was the girlfriend of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. The judge barred Trump from posting, sending emails, or making public remarks about members of the judge's staff. To talk more about the opening week of the trial, we're joined by David Cay Johnston, Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter who's reported on Trump for decades. He's the author of 3 books on Trump, including The Big Cheat, How Donald Trump Fleeced America and Enriched Himself and His Family. Johnston is also a distinguished visiting lecturer at Syracuse University College of Law. David, it's great to have you back with us. If you can start off by talking about the significance of this trial for Donald Trump. I mean, this is a civil trial. He didn't have to show up, though he falsely alleged he was being forced off the campaign trail to show up for this trial.
Well, unlike the 4 separate criminal indictments where Donald is at risk of incarceration, going to jail, this is a civil trial. But Donald Trump is his money. That's the most important thing to understand about Donald. And of course, his money is always being inflated along with other things. You know, he claims buildings are bigger than they are. He claims more money. And in this case, the judge has already ruled that Donald committed repeated, calculated frauds. The issue in this trial, the principal issue in this trial, there's some minor facts, is how much must he disgorge because his frauds resulted in ill-got gains that he must give up.
So talk about why this is so important to me. Another civil trial, right, the sexual assault trial of E. Jean Carroll, he did not show up for.
Well, that's right. And E. Jean Carroll similarly got a judge to rule there was such overwhelming evidence there was no need to try the merits of the case. Donald Trump is a rapist. That's been established by another judge. He already owes $5 million to the writer E. Jean Carroll, and now there's a second defamation case that she's brought, and there will be a trial only to determine again how much money he owes. In this trial, before Judge Engoron, Donald has had all of his business licenses revoked. The Trump Organization, his eyes wide open, blind trust he created when he became president, and the at least 500 Trump legal entities, mostly limited liability companies, no longer have business licenses, and you cannot do business without a business license. The judge has appointed another judge, a retired judge, as a monitor to make sure that Trump and his sons and the 2 executives who are in the case don't abscond with any of the money until it's determined how much is there. Ultimately, we will see the Trump Organization, his umbrella group, turned over to a receiver. This is similar to bankruptcy when you dissolve a company, but it's under New York State business law. It's not a bankruptcy case. His properties will be sold. Creditors and the government will get paid first. And if there's any money left at the end of the day, Amy, it will go to Donald Trump.
So you're